We match. We're Twinkies.
We're not Twinkies. We're just wearing big shirts. That's not the same thing.
Jeremiah does not like being Twinkies. Hey, guys.
Okay, well, the pants is a little freakier.
Oh, my gosh. We do. We match. Stand up.
I'm not.
Do it. Stand up. We're
I'm
both
not.
wearing dark gray comfy pants and long sleeve black shirts. So, Twinkies. What's up, guys? Welcome to our live chat. For those of you who are in this early, hello. For those of you catching the replay, we go live on Sunday nights at 7 Central Time. Ish. Are we on time tonight? Nope. 4 minutes late. That's ish.
That counts.
What is going on? Hello, everyone. We'll let everybody sign in. If you're new, oh, hey, Serenity, your first live. Well, welcome. If you are new, questions in all caps, please. Sorry, I lost my, I can't talk while I read the comments. I just go right off the squirrel chase. Hey, North Star Prep Stutter, what's up? Hello, everyone. Hello from Valonia, Arkansas. How about that, Stephanie? We're neighbors. We have not been to the P.O. box for the last handful of days. I'm sure we'll get it checked here in the next couple of days. What was for
We're
dinner?
going to check tomorrow.
Pulled pork and sweet potatoes was dinner. Like barbecue pork and sweet potatoes. I was going to do Brussels sprouts. I meant to do Brussels sprouts, but it came a golly washer. That's what we say down here. Or is that people do?
I've never said that.
And I didn't go out there and harvest them because it was a torrential downpour. Jeremiah was out there feeding the animals, and his hair is still like soaking wet. What is up? My book comes this week. Many of you pre-ordered. Many of you are getting it this week. Some people told me they're not scheduled to get it the next week, and I don't know what the deal is, if that's like a location thing with distribution. But definitely interesting. Amy French asked, what did you think of the Mandalorian finale? But some people might not have seen it. Is it pretty new?
And no, it's not new at all.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have to talk about the details of it. I thought it was pretty good. It was very redemptive for the horrible, horrific show of disregard for Star Wars that the trilogy was. And it restored a great character in Luke Skywalker back to some, a status of confidence and authority that he should have had, rather than a sniveling old man drinking green animal milk who can't do anything. So I thought it was good. Was it my favorite way to end it? No. I think, honestly, though, I'll be on, and I'll probably offend some Star Wars people here, but Luke Skywalker is not my favorite character. He doesn't even make my top 10 favorite characters in Star Wars. Honestly, the Mandalorian main character, that character, honestly, is more intriguing to me than Luke Skywalker. I'm glad that they did him right, and I hope that they continue to do that. But I hope they move on past the Skywalker storyline and get into better stuff. Ahsoka Tano's a better character. Ezra Bridger's a better character. There's so many other things that are better. So I thought it was good, but
my friend Coral just got a puppy, and her name's Ahsoka. Isn't that cute?
Yes, Paul Caleb. I actually said that. So in the original trilogy, we can honor it because of what it brought us, but it's almost like Gene Roddenberry in Star Trek. I don't think Lucas was able to achieve what he hoped to because of limits of technology, which is why he went back later and tried to fix it with newer technology. So I think the end of Rogue One, when Darth Vader shows up, really conveyed the seriousness of Darth Vader and the scariest, how scary he actually could be. Because at the end of Rogue One, and he starts just going off on people, you were like, wow, this is not the kind of Vader you've seen before. And this scene with Luke, stop shaking your head. Patronizing? You're so patronizing.
I'm not.
You are a little, because you just don't care about Star Wars and Star Trek. But
I'm
okay.
agreeing with you.
I know,
I'm
but you're just agreeing. You're just
because you like that.
I know. But yeah, I agree. The Luke Skywalker scene at the end of The Mandalorian was similar. It was you have not seen Luke Skywalker at that level of skill and epic fightingness that was it. That was the pinnacle so far.
Yep.
Just like the Vader scene was.
Thank you, John Marshkin Farm. Hello, Keely. I'm so excited that you're excited about receiving my book this week. Thank you so much for watching our channel and supporting our farm. That's so awesome. Hey, Natalie. Hey, Tinker's wife.
Say hi and go on.
Hi.
Get out of here.
Y'all, I went down a wormhole today
Go on.
because I went back to some old videos because I was deciding whether I was going to go through and perm my hair again. And I was looking back at old videos and I ended up seeing these videos of Benjamin and I got caught down the wormhole. It was no longer about hair. And all these videos from like 3 years ago, and Benjamin was just a little guy, and Toby and all of them. Jackson was in there cutting stuff up in the kitchen, and he was like, prepubescent, like much shorter than me. Just crazy. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people asking about my book. I'm going to pull up the link to my my like feature page on my publisher, which has a list of all of the retailers. Well, not all of the retailers. It's available at a lot of indie bookstores in different places, but this has several retailers that you can go to. Can you share the names of the different areas of your garden? That's a really good question. They're not like officially named. We have the cottage garden, which is up in the front. We also sometimes call the Hobbit garden. That's the in-ground perennial garden around the glass greenhouse. We have the big garden, which is what we call the raised bed garden in the front, like the original big garden. We have the high tunnel, obviously. The area next to the high tunnel, last year we called the sunflower garden, but it's not gonna have sunflowers in it. This year it's gonna have potatoes in it. So probably we'll call it the potato garden. And then we just referenced the other by the no dig garden, which is now where we have garlic and onions. And then we had the potato garden, the sweet potato garden. So, I don't know. I don't know about names and all that stuff. Now, when we establish our new property, I think I want to be really intentional about like naming different things from the beginning. Man, it's funny how you'll get names and things will just stick. Like you'll name stuff and it just completely sticks. Like Benjamin, when we got our car, it's a white SUV and we got it like a year ago, and Benjamin named it Forky. Like we were like, what are we gonna call the car? Because we always name our cars, and he's like Forky, and now everybody calls it Forky, which is so funny. Yeah,
my truck's a Ford, and we call it Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison. So, yeah, the kids' garden. Thank you, Susie. You're right. The kids' garden too, and we just call it the kids' garden. So, like, they don't have like really clever names. At one point, I had thought about trying to name them clever things, but nothing ever just stuck because you would say it, and people were like, "What?" And you'd have to go back to the original name that it was known by. No, we're not going to have that right now.
Go play with your brothers since after life.
Yeah, Ben comes up with great names. How goes the use of the freeze dryer? I haven't been using the freeze dryer just a whole lot over the last couple of months, just because I would have been freeze drying stuff from the store. But I'm actually about to get to fire it up or freeze it up and start freezing some of the excess goat milk that we have. So my SUV is called Saint Bridget. That's funny. Still in snowy in Idaho. It has definitely. What's the name of the RV? Okay, so this is another silly name that stuck. We call the camper Toodles because it's a clubhouse. Mickey Mouse. Anybody raised children in the last 10 years? So Toodles, the camper. How many dads tall is my house? Well, we would disagree, but I know that I'm correct that it is probably about 3.2 dads tall.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you got me completely distracted.
Do you pinch off the first leaves and leave the true leaves? Kathy, I have, but I mean, I don't think it makes or breaks anything. It probably helps it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I usually do if I think about it, and sometimes I don't. Toodles and Forky, I know. Sounds like a house with children, huh? Where did we order our barn? Just a local place. It wasn't like an online thing.
It's a place that actually makes them in Arkansas.
Yeah. It's supposed to be here this week. So, no, I have not seen that Gossmania. I'll have to check it out.
I'm just a little tired.
So, we had a crazy night last night.
I had a crazy night last night.
Miah had a crazier night than me last night. But I was also up significantly through the night. It stormed really, really bad. And I mean, like, really bad. It was a very bad thunderstorm with a lot of rain, like inches and inches of rain. And we are still like troubleshooting why this happens. It doesn't happen very often, but our basement used to flood. And that's why we got our house so cheap, because it was a foreclosure. And we have largely remedied the problem in putting in drains and swales and doing all this dirt work and a culvert at the front. And the basement has been completely gutted and redone. But occasionally, when water comes down like 4 inches in an hour, the drain can't empty it fast enough. And that's why we closed in our garage. But it'll pull up in the front and it'll just start coming in the door, which is not terrible. We have all those freezers down there. It doesn't usually come in like several inches like it used to. But Miah got up at like 3.
It's like 2.
He was up until like, he was up 5 for a while because by the time he came in at like 3:30, he was soaking wet because it was raining. But he had to go find the sump pump, which was actually in the garden, to be able to pump that stuff out in the pouring down rain. It was like this. It was really scary. The lightning was on top of us. And Toby came and got in our bed, and he's very, very afraid of thunderstorms. And so I was up with him fussing, and it was a long night. So, and like when you have goats and milk and stuff, you don't really sleep in the morning. So even though it was a long night, it was an early morning. The gardening class will be available for purchase after this class is up. So like right now, the people who are going through it live. And we are, a lot of the content was pre-produced and some of it we're producing as we go. So it's like relevant to right now. But afterwards, after we close the course, the last week is April 1st is the last content drop. And then after that, we'll sell the bundle and be available on our website, Roots and Refuge Farm. But I'll be making announcements about it and stuff like that, so you won't miss it.
Someone asked me a question. Do I feel emasculated by being called Sweet Miah? And the answer is no. I do not feel emasculated by that. It was weird at first, but not because it was emasculating.
It was weird because the only people ever called him Miah was me and his mom and sometimes his sisters. And so like when you're like in public and someone's like, hey, Miah, whenever you're only used to that being like a pet name from your wife and your mom, it was like, who are you calling me that? You know, like, but now it's normal. He introduces himself as that. It just kind of stuck. It's funny because like when we first started this, the only people that called us Jess and Miah were like the closest family members to us. Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. Loving the course. It's different. Highly recommend. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think the course is going really well. Like, I really like it. Obviously, I've got 800 videos out there. I've done very extensive teaching. You could probably piece together a lot of the information by going through my channel and going through all those videos. But this is just condensed. It's easy to get through step by step. And there's also a lot of printable PDFs. So you're actually getting like worksheets. You're actually getting printouts with charts and like different lists and pictures and troubleshooting stuff. And obviously we've never released anything like that before. So I think that's really cool.
Someone said, what happens to all the animals whenever a storm comes through? Well, it depends on the animal. Yeah. The goats put themselves up in barns. The chickens put themselves up in coops. The pigs run around and act like idiots. And the alpacas go and lay down.
The ducks go all over the place.
In the rain.
Yeah. So
they actively choose.
They all have sound structures that are dry and safe from the storm if they choose to put themselves in it. And the thing is that they usually do. If it's like really intense, they'll go up. But a lot of times if it's not super intense, they're out there playing in it. So
can I use topsoil for no dig beds? You can use topsoil. I don't know, depending on where you're at and what is in your topsoil, it doesn't have enough nutrients. You're going to have to add something to it.
Yeah. I would test it, like take it to the extension office and get it tested.
First test you can do is look at it. Is it dark?
Yeah.
Is it clay? Is it sand? Like, what do you?
Because a lot of times, like when I buy topsoil here locally, like I just go to a place, even through like nursery connections and stuff, and buy topsoil. It's like clay and sand because that's just the soil we have here.
Yeah, it's junky.
And so it's not like what you would get if you were living somewhere like Iowa. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, but I would say you probably are going to need to add some compost or something to it. Little Valentine said, I think Sweet Miah sounds fine, but there's always Savory Jerry if you need a more masculine alternative. Oh, yeah.
I don't think that should be a thing.
One time, somebody was like, well, a lot of people said this, but one time one of our friends at church kept calling him Jerry. And he said, I don't know why they call me Jerry. I'm like, honey, some people who go by Jeremiah or have the name Jeremiah go by Jerry. It's a nickname for Jeremiah. And he was like, oh. And it was so funny because we always call him Miah, and people are always like, where did you get Miah? I'm like, Miah? It's right there in the name.
It's like, I don't know, we were talking to somebody at church, and they're like, what's his name? Oh, it's Ezra. I'm like, oh yeah, where'd you get that from?
Really?
Like, in the Bible?
Major Old Testament prophet. One of the books. It's up there. That is funny. Do you guys trellis determinate tomatoes or just indeterminate? Just indeterminate. I'm actually doing all determinates in the high tunnel this year. And I'm going to do just like wooden stakes in the middle for support. So we'll see how that goes. Always learning, right? Savory Jerry. Sometimes he is.
So yeah, that sounds like I drive a white van with no windows in it. I don't need a rap sheet. Oh, that's Savory Jerry. He lures kids to his van with bacon.
Savory.
No, I'll stick to Sweet Miah. That sounds more
Sweet
fitting.
Miah is definitely.
Or you can just call me Jeremiah. That's normal too.
Xavier, I'll send you a message back. I'm sorry I keep forgetting. It has been an extremely busy season. I will try to show you my houseplants sometimes. They sometimes the Beyonce song "I'm a Survivor" comes on in their presence, and they kind of wave in the wind. That's like their jam. The fact that they're still alive is truly miraculous, because I might have a green thumb outside, but man, I'm extraordinarily negligent of houseplants. Yeah, we've had a lot of girls named Miah, like in youth and all that stuff. We knew a lot of Miahs.
Not spelled that way.
But not spelled the same way. M-I-A-H is how we spell Miah. I actually did a lot of my seeds yesterday. I will shoot some videos because I have more to start. But I do have, I will show some of that in videos. And I'm also going to tell you guys what I started and why I didn't start as many this year. I mean, I still started like 40 something varieties of tomatoes, but that was all tomatoes, which that is actually kind of moderate for me. We used the freeze dryer a lot, like at the end of last season and into the winter. And then we were working on some projects that we needed to use that dedicated plug. So we just kind of gave it a rest for a little while, but we're about to get back into using it real regularly. How much heat is too much heat for seedlings? Is 103 degrees Fahrenheit too hot for germination? Yeah, I would say back it down a little bit. That's probably much too hot. But it's going to start suffering. Ideally, you want to hit about, ideally 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit would be probably like the super sweet spot for really good germination. Maybe upwards of 90 whenever you're talking about things like peppers. But yeah, I wouldn't go a lot higher than that. No, I don't guess we ever really did a full thorough tour of our kitchen. I know we showed some different aspects of it.
We'll get there.
I have done the white Thomasol, Tracy. I thought they were pretty good. They're not like mind-blowing or anything, but they're mostly just really neat to look at, and they're pretty tasty. No, we're not going to be doing the shindig this spring. We actually talked to the Vincents about it recently, and
it's just too
there's just too many factors
Yeah,
that there's so much work that goes into something like that.
we
Last year was
we would have had to start planning it like 4 months ago.
Right. Last year, we literally worked on it for 6 months to cancel it. And that meant a lot of like loss for a lot of people who were planning on being vendors, who had been working on stock. And of course, I mean, obviously, like that season is not something that any of us foresaw. But now it's just, I just don't think that it would be the smartest idea to try to do it. And on top of that, I mean, at this point, it's too late. We haven't done that. Hey, bye, Olivia. Hey,
the reason
Goldshell
we've
Farm.
kind of waited on the whole kitchen thing is because it's all new and like we're still haven't worked out all the kinks, if that makes sense.
That's a hair. I thought my
Yeah.
cup was cracked.
Of like where things are gonna go and like how, you know what I'm saying? Like in this, like I've still got to build these 2 book shelves units in the pantry.
Yeah, we still have like a box of stuff in there that we just get our seasonings out of a box because we just have other things took priority.
Yeah. And every time I'm like, yo, maybe this is either raining or we're have to be out of town or I can give up my only time off to work on that. I'm just like, not worth it. I've worked too hard for the last 7 days, so just hasn't happened yet. But I feel like it'll be coming soon.
Suggestions on buying a foreclosure. Well, I mean, I can't really line out what exactly is the best way to do things because we just sort of bumbled through it. But we found ours through HUD. It's just they had a website that you could find like government listed foreclosures, and it was a bidding process which nobody else bid. We were the highest bidders or something. I don't know, maybe someone else did bid and they were lower than us, but
no, we were the only ones.
And the main thing is when
you really had to have some vision to see this house as possible. The
main thing is that we did not have, and it all worked out, like it all fell into place, and we were so thankful. Like the whole season was just such a testimony of provision, but like we had to spend, and it's crazy because we did not have this much money, and the fact that we ended up, it was wild, like the way that money came through. But in the first like 3 or 4 months of having this property, we had to spend something like $10,000 just because of stuff that had to be done to make it livable. Because when we got it, it passed the inspection, but then turned out that everything in it was completely rigged. The plumbing didn't work. The electricity didn't work. Like it had been so stripped and vandalized, and they had literally come in and just propped it up and made it look like it was working, but it was not functional. So it was really crazy. So I would say
we didn't even like replace stuff. We just like
made it passable so we wouldn't die living in here. Yeah. So I would say if you're going to go that route, having money on having a little, just some money, it would definitely be smart because obviously, I mean, it worked out thankfully, but yeah, I would just caution people when you're going in a foreclosure, just because it passes an inspection does not mean it is what you think you're getting.
Elsa Anderson, are goats or pigs better starter animals? Already had to keep chickens. That depends on what you want.
Yeah.
If you're wanting milk and things that milk makes, then I would say goats because you don't milk pigs.
I would say that they are probably similar in care.
I feel like actually pigs are way easier. You don't have to trim pig hoofs. The only thing you have to do is if they do need some kind of medication or something like that, something happens, so that has not been our experience. Like having a way to administer that is way more complicated than a goat. But like goats need copper, they need hoof trimming, they have to have hay, they have to have grain, they have to have this, that. I mean, to me, goats are way more complicated.
I think there's one consideration though that would change that. Like if I didn't have you, I would not have pigs. Like just being like a woman, there's no way. Like, and if somebody doesn't have the ability to put up like electric fencing and stuff like that, like if you have the ability to put up electric fencing, yes, pigs. If you don't, and you're just going to try to keep them in a regular fence, like that could be a nightmare. And if you're not confident in your strength and ability to maintain pigs, like he handles our pigs, but I can tell you right now, like if it were just me, I would not even have pigs because they're huge and they're kind of scary. Like to me, I'm not ever scared of our pigs because they're contained and they're well trained and stuff like that. But I don't know. So it probably depends on the situation.
What's up, Jimmy and Sherry Waller? How are you?
So yeah, I keep seeing people pop up. Yeah, Pat, usually I turn the heating pad off after germination. Occasionally, like right now, I have my seeds in my laundry room. That's what I'm using this year. And it's cold in there. Not like cold, but it's colder than the rest of the house. And I might leave the heating pad in there for a little while longer. Oh yeah, pigs easily get up to 300. I mean, those monster pigs we had, those really big pigs, those pigs were over like 500 pounds
After our
each.
first experience to try and load them, like me and Ben were traumatized. Jessica found us just laying in the woods. Go, Sarah!
No, what happened? But yes, they threw Big Ben Turn, and Jeremiah around like ragdolls.
I mean, it's more impressive that they threw me around. No offense to Ben Turn, but like he's half my weight. Like they literally just picked me up and threw me over the fence.
Yeah. Yeah, we call this the monster pigs.
Okay.
Best system for tomatoes, hog panel weave. I use cattle panels for my tomatoes, and I prune to a single stalk. I plant them 20 inches apart. That's just how I do it, though. You might have to find a different way.
I'll talk to you after.
Thank you, Nikki. I love my fireplace in the basement as well. So yeah, I keep seeing people talk about the book, so I'm going to touch on this for a little bit. So there's the link that has the different retailers. That also shows international retailers. So if you're not in the United States and you're looking for a retailer that might ship to you, you can look there. So this is my book. I did a video unboxing it and I cried. Yeah, Big Bear, y'all's pig is huge. So yes, and I cried. I'm going to pay attention to this and not the comments. And so far, I've received so many lovely messages. People in the U.S. have started to get theirs. I've been getting messages today and yesterday of people saying that theirs were delivered. So I don't know exactly what is like determining when they're shipped, because some people say theirs aren't coming until next week, and I don't know if that's a distribution issue or what the deal is. But I know that they're in stock and they're being shipped, so that's good. So welcome to the classroom. Anybody care to guess what that blushing tomato is? You might know the variety. It's a fave. So yeah, this covers, oh, it's really bright on there. This covers all kinds of things about getting started. It shows obviously lots of beautiful pictures of my garden, and there's lots of lists in here, just different instructions, different encouragements. It is really wonderful. I'll stop showing you all my favorite pages. Yeah, it is Dr. Litchie's. And I'm so happy with it. I've actually been carrying it around the house and like looking at it. Jeremiah can attest to the fact that he had to like take it out of the bed with me last night after I fell asleep, because I just keep looking at it and being like, wow, I did it. I'm not sure on the planner. Low Country Gardener. Is that published somewhere, or did you just happen to freaking guess that like that good? Like for real, I need to know. Did you literally just pull that out of the air, or is that actually put up? Is that actually published somewhere? Because that actually is the second book that I'm in contract for, and you just actually just said it down
he
to.
Didn't say it. He typed it out.
I just need to know, like, because if you just nailed it like that,
it was impressive.
It's on that website. Okay. I was about to be like, what? Okay. So they have actually put it on the website. Okay, cool. So I can tell you. See, I don't know how this works. I try to follow the rules and be like a good writer and just do what the publisher says, but I have no idea what I'm doing. It's going well, but yeah, my second book is The First Time Homesteader, and it'll be out in 2022, but it's the sister book to this one. And it's what I've been working on. So when I saw it, I was like, no way. There's no way you just guess that down to the date that it's coming out. Because I don't know what I'm allowed to announce.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's The First Time Homesteader will be the sister to this book. And so this obviously goes into this is called The First Time Gardener Growing Vegetables. This is a really good overview for new gardeners. There's a lot of encouragement. I have had people who are not new gardeners that bought it to support me tell me that they actually felt like it was a really good tool for them. But it's available everywhere. This is my first one. I'm working on my second one. I actually have another one that I've been very slowly working on, but it is not under contract. It's a devotional, and it's not one that I'm willing to put under contract until I'm done writing it. And then I'll present it to someone and give them the opportunity to publish it. But I didn't want to write that one under a deadline. So really old gardeners. Well, I hope that I can encourage gardeners of all ages and experience levels.
I don't know that they're taking pre-orders.
No, the new one's not taking pre-orders yet. It's very preliminary. Like, it's on the very early stages. Like, we haven't. That's why I was surprised. Like, I actually didn't know that it would be announced this early because I know with this one, I wasn't able to even tell anybody about it. But the thing is that I learned that it was time to tell people about it when I saw it on Amazon. So like, that was I was actually still finishing up writing it, but it's just an interesting process. And it's so like, I signed the contract for this book in August of 2019. So it's a very drawn out process that takes a really long time, but I want to write lots of books. I turned around and bit off the other one. Might have been a little hasty, but I knew I wanted to do a homesteading book, and I knew we were going to move, and I knew we were going to move at the end of this year. And I felt like if I was going to write a first-time homesteader book, I wanted it to be for my first homestead, if that makes sense. So it was sort of like a little bit for me of a tribute to this place, because I just wanted to have that personally. So. Hanover ground cherries from Baker Creek. Alexis, I've never tried them, but I actually started seeds for them yesterday, so we'll see.
I don't know if you're going on a book tour.
We haven't planned anything. It's just
we
travel.
Started to, but then
travel.
Hit.
Yeah, travel's so so strange right now. So we'll probably do some local book signing things, and then. If
we do go to any events this year.
Yeah, like I'm planning on going to like Homesteaders of America, I think. And so that would be like a good time to be able to like sign books.
But those will actually events, or if we do book signings, those will be the only opportunities to get a signed copy. Because we've actually had some requests for like people offering to pay for shipping to get it sent here. And we just don't have the capacity.
I just don't think I have the infrastructure to keep up with people's stuff and make sure that I get it back to them.
So we're just going to not do that.
I was looking into possibly getting some like book plates, like some labels on the inside to go on the inside and signing those and then making them like free with purchase in our sticker shop or something like that. Because it's incredibly honoring that you guys would ask me for that. But I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. Yeah, for sure. I mean, like when we got a like HOA and stuff, I hope people will bring their books to be signed.
And there's another black shirt.
I wore this underneath my overalls today, but then you put the air conditioning on and I was cold. There's not another one under there. You stinker. That's awesome, Yvonne. That's so super exciting. Is there a homestead cookbook coming? That is something that I would like to write at some point. I actually discussed that with my publisher on the next book, but decided again that I wanted to write that homesteading book. And I knew I only had a limited amount of time here. And I really wanted to write a homesteading book here with photos of this farm. Just honestly, as for my own keepsake, for my own like children to have and stuff like that. I just thought it would be really neat for them to be able to look back on that and be like, oh, that's that house that we lived in when we were little. And so, I'm just emotional mess this week. But
oh no, it's not. Arkansas is back to its full swing of can't decide what it's going to be season. So now we're in the 70s and raining. So it's humid.
Yeah, he kicked the air on today.
She goes, why did you do? She goes, did I just hear the air conditioner come on? I said, it's 75 in the family room. I was like, I draw the line. Like,
no, okay.
Why don't you open the door? Right, so I can feel like I'm being weighed down by the bogginess.
It was so foggy and humid today in between the storms that were going on that when the air was off, like literally there was condensation on the floor of our living room and you're walking and like can feel it. It was not good.
So I turned the AC on for a while and it brought the temperature back.
Hey, City Sowers, I hope you're feeling good.
Someone asked, can they get at least a hint of where we're moving to?
Nope.
It's somewhere between California and Maine.
He means from like east to west.
Coast, West Coast. It's in that area. So that actually does give you some information. It's obviously not Alaska or Hawaii. Or Cuba.
No, we've cleared that up. Helps the mold growth on the blue cheese.
And not Canada, that's true.
Dang it, Jason. It's been out of my head for at least 3 days. Oh my gosh. Yeah, our humidity is really intense. Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better. Or Vermont. I don't know, Morgan. I think it's beautiful and I would really love to visit you.
Oh, sorry, no. We're not moving.
Here's a better clue.
We just had a little bit of an experience. It was just a little bit. I was like, no.
Guys, 18 inches of snow kill
0 degrees outside.
Killed me.
No,
like
it's not happening.
I woke up, it was -5. It was still snowing.
All of you, it's just like, we can agree to disagree. Like we've fostered a community of we don't have to agree on things. Like I bless all you people who live in the north and have all this winter stuff going on. Like I'm good. Like honestly, I don't need another big snow for 5 years. I
almost died. I mean, not really, but like I was extremely dramatic. I literally the whole time it was as if something bad was happening to me. Like I was walking out and I love snow. I typically love snow, but I've never experienced
Now,
like
I will say this. The issue, I think, is Jessica's never lived somewhere where they have snow a lot, and so therefore they're prepared for it. Like part of the reason why it sucks here is because our infrastructure is completely unprepared. We have like 3 plow trucks for the whole state.
Like guys, I'm not joking when I tell you the sun is road maintenance for us when it comes to snow out where we live. Right. Our road did not get plowed.
It got plowed after 3 days after the last snow.
That wasn't even an actual plow. That was a person. It wasn't even the whole road.
No, then that's next day. They brought an actual it actually wasn't it's not a snow plow. They brought a road construction machine that like grates, the big yellow ones that have the angled blade, and they drove it up and down the street that finished off what was left. But anyways, they don't have any infrastructure to deal with it. Like I've lived in North Dakota during winter and it was in the middle of it could be in the middle of the worst blizzard you've ever seen and they'll still have a lane cleared constantly. Yeah. So like what bothers me is the stress of having to drive. And it's not even my own driving capabilities. Like I'm very confident and know what I'm doing. It's everybody else. I mean, we can't tell you how many 19-year-olds are flying 50 miles an hour with ice and compacted snow. And they're just acting like, well, I got a 4-wheel drive truck, so I'm impervious. And I'm just like, stay away from me.
Yeah, Jeremiah got run off the road by a person that just didn't know what they were doing. And he went off the road because he was like, they were not moving. They were freaking out. And he's like, I would rather go off the road because I know I can get back on the road. But he's like, I would rather that than get hit. It was just really wild. Yeah, we also do. We drive with summer tires year round. We don't change our tires.
Well, I didn't even know. There's a different tire?
Yeah.
I mean, I have all-terrains. That's not a summer tire.
I don't know. Apparently, people told me that. I will tell you this. You northern folks.
But are you saying like there's a different all-terrain tire that you put on? Or you're saying like you go from like a regular tread to an all-terrain tread or like an off-road tread? Is that what you're saying? Because I don't see why an all-terrain tire would be any different summer or winter other than your pressure that you hold. Anyways.
I will say like my northern viewers were like the real MVP because the amount of advice that I received through that, like hey, try this, do this, don't worry about that. This will be okay. Make sure you do this. Hey, I noticed this on your steps. You can just use table salt. And I mean, telling us what you might think is extremely basic information, but like I might have to tell you if you had to work outside on a 106-degree day to make sure you drink a gallon of water. And that to me is the most basic information. But like, and that's probably a bad example because obviously people can get dehydrated everywhere. But where you live in a place that the humidity is so high and you literally start sweating when you walk outside, you get dehydrated so easy. But these basic things that are like second nature when that's where you live and that's where you grow up, we don't know those things.
Like I can't put up with Morgan's winter, but I don't know how long he'd last working outside in August.
Well, it's funny. Me and Luke from My Gardener, whenever we met at HOA a couple years ago, we were sitting there chatting. It was really chilly. It was like October, and I'm wearing like a hoodie on a shirt, long sleeve shirt, and a jacket. He's standing there in a t-shirt. I'm like shivering, and he starts laughing. He said, "But I'm not going to lie." He said, "When it's over 75 degrees outside, I don't want to be outside." He's like, because I am just so not used to that. And he's like, so right now, he said, you're freezing whenever it's 40. But he said, I would not want to work in your garden in the summer. So it was just really funny because there's this picture of us. It was a thumbnail of a video. And I'm like bundled up and he's in a t-shirt. But it's just the difference of acclimation.
A sunburned
sweaty puddle.
With ducks swimming in it.
And geese. Oh my gosh.
But I'll tell you this, experiencing some -5s and 0-degree days.
I have respect for you guys.
Well, not just that, like now it's like 25 was like warm. We're like, oh, we're good. We just need a light jacket.
That is true. I was like, okay, this is what they're talking about when they're like, why are you so cold when it's 35 degrees? Because when it was like single digits for a week. And then we went out and it was like 30. It was like 31. It wasn't even above freezing. And my kids are out there in like just long sleeve shirts. They don't even have their jackets on. I'm like, guys, it's still cold. And they're like, it feels great. Yeah, we still have turkeys.
We live in Arkansas, Carol.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience. I enjoyed getting to experience. I'm glad it's over. I am glad that weather is over.
Lori, we did give a good hint. It's between the West Coast and the East Coast.
I will give you this hint too. I will never live a place that has less than a 200-day growing season. That's just, unless like the Lord himself spoke to me and said, Jessica, I need you to go up north.
So basically what she's saying is that the type of zone we're in now, we're staying in this zone. So yeah, that kind of rolls out a lot of places. So that helps. That actually is a hint. So it's not Michigan.
No.
Or Wisconsin.
And I don't doubt that those places Dakotas, are really beautiful.
Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska.
Diane, I appreciate that, BFF. A lot of credit. Northerners don't go outside as much as you did. We were outside a lot. That's the other thing, too. I would have loved this had we been able to just hole up in our house, stay next to the fireplace, eat beef stew. But instead, I was stressing out about my baby goats and my goat that was about to drop her kids and my plants and all that stuff.
People getting stuck at her house. And
yeah, we had a bunch of people stuck at her. It was just a crazy thing. I will look back on that fondly. I'm glad nothing bad happened to us. I'm very sorry for the people who had to struggle in Texas, specifically in Louisiana. My mother's had a pipe burst at her house. It's just we're just not prepared for it. But I'm glad it's over for everybody.
I'm not going to Mexico.
I mean, I'd visit.
Yeah, we can go to like one of the beaches, but
yeah.
But this year in April is our 10-year wedding anniversary.
It is.
10 years.
We were looking and we were like, we should go somewhere for our anniversary. And we started looking at different things. And it was like, man, we're not going to go. Like, just, it's still not a good time to really be doing.
I don't want to go to some all-inclusive resort thing that we've never gotten to do. And it'd be like, sorry, all the stuff is closed. So you guys can
right. We talked about like, we've been wanting to go to New York City and go to like Broadway's closed. Like we looked at all these different things and we're like, well, we'll just wait. We'll
figure something out.
We'll figure something out. Homestead Dreaming, cool. When is y'all's? What month is y'all's? Ours is April 26th is our 10-year wedding anniversary, which is really crazy. It feels like longer than that to me, but I don't know. I mean, what does 10 years really feel like? I can't really
we're old souls.
We're so in love. And we are in love.
Well,
we are in love. a Disney cruise. I think if I went on a Disney cruise without my babies, they would be super bummed. So we're going to take another trip with our kids. That was another thing. Like we had promised our kids a cruise when we rolled over 100,000. We couldn't work it out that summer with getting Miah here in a time that we could go. And so we're like, okay, we'll go next spring. Well, your spring or summer. And then it was 2020. So it's all been closed. I think they're starting to open them again, but even still, I just don't really feel comfortable doing a lot of traveling right now. Like I have done some traveling, but it's literally been to go to people's homes where we stayed in homes the whole time. We weren't like out and about a lot. It's just, it's just a lot of stuff closed.
Ben's birthday is the 6th.
Yeah.
And Toby's is the 9th.
And then Noah's is the 12th.
Yeah. But Noah's like my brother.
Yeah. But I am cooking his birthday dinner.
What are you making?
Whatever he wants.
Oh, he hasn't told you?
Mm-mm. He wants cheesecake. I don't really make cheesecake well. I'm going to go buy it from that bakery in Conway.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. We, wow, you gained 300,000 subs in a little over a year. Is that right?
No, it's more than that.
No, it's not a year.
We gained 100,000. We offered the cruise. And then
we rolled over 100,000 in February of 2019. No, that's right. No, that's not right.
2018.
No, we started in 2018. We started in March of 2018. I just went and watched that video today.
Oh, no, that is right. So we were going to plan it for the next spring. And then that spring, we hit 200,000 like March. And then from March till now, we've gained.
Yeah, spring of 2020.
Yes.
We hit 200,000 in January of 2020.
Right. So early. And then we were still in the 200,000
and then
like March.
COVID started and we jumped to 300 by like May or something like that. The high tunnel was up, but I don't know if it was planted. And then
through the summer, we got
and
another
then through the summer. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's pretty crazy. It's growing really fast again too. I don't know. It's really neat. It's been amazing. Like, so I don't know if I want to talk about this. Yeah, I do. So there's this weird guy on YouTube and he makes these videos and I don't care like if we can talk about it, but he makes these weird videos and he talks about like the public records, because you can go look up public records and get like an estimate of people's YouTube AdSense revenue. And like it's public stuff. You can find those things out and people do. And people comment on it and all that stuff. And I don't care. We make money on YouTube. I know you're not all surprised. But
why haven't you been telling me? Where has all this money been going?
I'll be here all night, folks. But anyway, this weird guy, he seems like a nice enough guy. It's a weird concept to me. But he does these videos like exposing people for how much money they're making. And he's actually very nice. Like when he didn't say anything ugly, but he makes these awful thumbnails with like Angry Bird eyebrows and like paint your face and all that stuff. And anyway, for some reason that popped up today while I was looking on YouTube at something. And I just had gone down the wormhole of our videos today. I told you this, looking at my babies being babies. And I clicked on it and I saw all these comments and man, all of my viewers are like shredding this guy. Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you ever attack these people? And like, I don't really care. It's really precious that people are protecting us. But one person said something and I was like, it was kind of like, that's an interesting outlook. But I don't disagree. And they basically said, yeah, when the COVID spike happened, this girl, referring to me, ran this thing like a wild horse till it passed out, talking about how much content I made. They said, but it was always high quality. It was never passing old content off as new. It was never cheap on length or value, and they deserve every penny that they made. But it was just talking about, and it is true. I mean, like when we got stuck at home, I was like, all right, daily content it is. Where did y'all get your high tunnel from? And my 10-month-old bronze breasted Tom is kind of weak. Any pointers? First off,
the high tunnel comes from Grower Solutions. You can use the code ROOTS10 to get 10% off of everything except shade cloth, which depending on your zone and like your climate, you might not even need it. So check that out. Ours is a high sidewall, 24 wide by 60 long, but you can literally get lots of different styles at different widths and lengths and all that. So you can find the one that fits you. And you can get 10% off of any of them.
The 10-month-old bronze-breasted tom being kind of weak. Unfortunately, when it comes to fowl like that, I have found if you get one that is kind of weak, that's not great genetics, it's probably not the best idea to breed them, because that tends to pass down. Like when we're going to do breeding stock, I usually try to get a few so that I can pick the strongest, like the biggest and the traits that you want. I have bred weak birds before that are just sort of puny and smaller, and they just breed more weak birds. So I don't really have I don't really have like a tip of like what to do to make him stronger, because what I found a lot of times with birds is that if they're weak, a lot of times it's a genetic thing. Unfortunately, I'm really sorry. Yeah, honestly, everybody who came on that thing was so precious. And I will tell you, with our viewers, I genuinely feel like we have the most supportive viewers on YouTube. I talk to a lot of other YouTubers that deal with a tremendous amount of negativity. We deal with some negativity, don't get me wrong, but like it's not the majority by far. By far, what it feels like to me is that you guys have been, and I just experienced it this week with releasing my book. But you guys, I'm reining it in. Okay, don't say anything. I'm reining it in.
Remember when we were watching The Chosen?
Stop! Why do you want to do this to me? If y'all guys haven't seen that show, it's very good. But y'all have been like it's been like having this massive cheer section. When you do good things, and people being like, yeah, you did good. And it's just so encouraging. And, man, I just am so extraordinarily grateful. And, I've talked to different people about what we do. And some people have real misperceptions about vlogging and creating content. They perceive people constantly wanting to put a camera on their face as something that might be vain or narcissistic or whatever. And I'm sure there is that, but I mean, gosh, aren't there narcissistic people that work at grocery stores? I mean, like there are people who are that way in anywhere that you look, but I just truly view this as an opportunity to just add our positivity in the world and truly to model the fact that I just have such a firm belief that God's not a respecter of persons, and that truly like what has been poured on our lives is genuinely available. And it's not something that we earned. I don't feel like we're here because we were so good. In fact, I cannot believe we have not screwed this up along the way. It makes me very brave. Dream for more things, because I'm like, man, if we could be here and not have screwed it up with all the things that we've done wrong, I mean, surely we could go anywhere. So, but yeah, you guys you're my people, and I'm so thankful for you.
No, those are apples in the basket.
What did somebody say?
Apples and red apples.
What
it's like multicolored eggs. See?
Oh yeah,
that's
no,
apples, though.
Yeah, they're apples.
Those are our fruit storage.
That's where our children are allowed
Oranges,
to get food when they're bugging me for things.
Oranges, bananas, apples.
Thank you. It's crazy because for a long time, thank you, Linda. I was explaining this actually. Sometimes I'll do some like mentorship videos. Morgan Gold, who has Gold Shaw Farm, we are actually just planning another one right before this call. We were texting, and we will do this for like other YouTubers that do like homesteading channels in the Homesteaders of YouTube Facebook group, and we'll do kind of like a mentorship call and answer questions for people, that kind of thing. And we were talking about clickbait, and it's interesting because a lot of people are like, well, what do you do? And I'm like, you just got to follow through. If you put something in your title, make sure you follow through with it. It's okay for it to be a hook. I mean, like I do write, and I like took lots of creative writing classes. Like you want to draw people in, but don't draw people in and then like hoodwink them and then actually make a video about making biscuits whenever you're like, I found it dead or something awful, like definitely deliver. What's in the hanging pot looks variegated. That is a Pothos. Oh, my prayer plant is looking very sad. That is a Pothos Enjoy houseplant. And then I have a little Monstera here, and then the Somebody help me out. I can't think of what this is called. I'm drawing a blank.
The annoying one.
Somebody will tell me and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's it. The obvious one. Hey, Papa Pepper, I didn't see you on there. Regenerative farming is the future. I agree, Viking Patriot. I 100% agree. A green plant. Jack, ding, ding, ding. Philodendron. Thank you so much, Kira. That's it. No, mine has not, Paul. I never had anything like that. My mother is the houseplant guru. All of these came from her, except that one came from Trader Joe's. I'm surprised it's still alive.
How far back someone had to go to find that. Someone asked about where's that blue healer we had. That was a long
well, you got to understand,
ago.
like a lot of these videos, people get them. Like YouTube doesn't let you know when a video is from. It just pops up in your feed, and it can be 3 years old.
So yeah, we had a blue healer, and so he escaped somehow or ran away and got lost.
Oh no, honey, they're talking about Jackson's little puppy that you found on the side of the road. We didn't have him for very long.
I thought they were talking about Pirate Shep. I was like, man, that's a crazy story. Like we could write a book about Pirate
Shep was a long time ago. That was before we had YouTube. About. No, they're talking about
Ace.
Yeah, Ace. Yeah. Yeah, Ace we didn't have for very long. That was Jackson wanting to keep him, and he was not ready for a dog. But and it just wasn't fair to the dog, and I wasn't prepared to take him on. But Jackson now has a bearded dragon, and he takes fantastic care of him. So,
oh my gosh,
I will do that, Wanda, with the prayer plant.
Now they're all like, well, let's hear the story about Pirate Shep.
Here's the thing: whenever what you need to know about Pirate Shep. Okay, we had a blue healer.
Pirate Shep was a blue healer.
We got him when we moved into this house. He was a little puppy who was severely inbred. Like we did not know. A friend of ours like literally rescued these dogs from this very terrible puppy mill situation, found out they were pregnant, decided to let the puppies be born. Later we found out afterwards that he was very severely inbred, and he was never all there.
He was, yeah.
Bless him. And so
he ran off.
We have to explain his name. I called him Shep because he was a shepherd, but Toby, who was at the time 2.5, thought I was saying ship. And so he was like, oh, like Pirate Shep. And so
Pirate Shep.
That's how we ended up with Pirate Shep.
So funny. Okay, so we had this one dog. Okay, so we've told this story. We rescued a German Shepherd, and he thought chickens were going to hurt us, genuinely. And so he broke into the chicken yard when we were gone for 30 minutes paying the water bill and murked almost all of our chickens. Mm-hmm. So we had to remove him. He went to a family that didn't have animals, and they had other German Shepherds, and he lived a great life, probably still alive, doing well. He's a very intelligent dog.
I kept up with him.
He just thought chickens were dangerous. I'm telling you, he's stressed
probably pretty
out.
Old now.
Okay, so he in Pirate Shep escaped out the back to the 1,000 acres.
2 days before Benjamin was born. Right before an ice storm hit.
And Max came back. And Pirate Shep did not. He got lost. And so we posted it. We looked. We posted on Facebook.
This is like we were like in the hospital having a baby.
So we get back from Ben, and it's been like 6 weeks.
No, it was 3.
3 weeks. Yeah. 4 weeks, something like that. And we get this message saying, hey, I think this might be your dog. Showed up at our house. And it's like 3 miles away. So I go there, and it is him, but he is not the same dog. We brought him back here and tried to rehabilitate him, but honestly, he had some other deficiencies.
I am good with dogs. Like, I really am. Like, I feel like Bear is a good testament to the fact that I actually know something about dog training. Like, I am good with dogs. I could not. And then I had this newborn baby, and I could not get this dog to respond.
It was never. So, but you did take him. You were still working with him and trying to rehabilitate him, trying to get it figured out. We were sad that he got lost, but we're glad that he was back. And you took him to BB to sell some chickens, and he slipped his collar on purpose and took off. Okay, at the BB flea market, which is this massive flea market.
6 years ago.
Okay, so get this: 3 weeks later, she's back at the BB flea market to buy something or sell something or check things out. And Pirate Shep's still there, just hanging out, and like people are petting on him.
So embarrassing.
And I know, but it's not embarrassing to me. It's like he's literally, he might even still be there. Like people were like petting on him, like he was a local favorite. Like that's where he lived out the rest of his life.
I don't know what happened. I hate that story of what happened with that dog, but it literally breaks my heart.
We tried to catch him. He wasn't happening. Like, if I could explain this flea market, like,
people, like, I could see the stress on your face. It really does stress me out. Like, that breaks my heart. Like, y'all, like, my first job was volunteering in an animal shelter. Like, you do not understand the bleeding heart that I have for animals, and to have any animal end up like stray. But like, I seriously, he lost his dang mind. I did not know what to do.
I mean, he went out in his walkabout, and he did not come back whole.
Geared for life. I'm going to hang on to that and just believe that that's what happened. It sounds like he created himself a happy life. I hope so.
That's what that's why I don't stress out about it. I really believe he literally slipped his collar. It's not like we weren't loving to him and like caring. Like, he was like, this is what he wanted. And
I took him because I was keeping him. It had been like, I literally went that day to sell chickens. I mean, Benjamin was probably at that point. It was fall. So it was probably like 7 months after Pirate Shep ran away and came back. And I was always scared of him after that because he was so like
skittish.
He just was not right. And so I was always really cautious with him around the kids, but I had put him on a leash and I was trying to leash train him, like lead train him, keep not just to walk on a leash, but it's what I did with Bear.
A pirate's life for him. A beginning and wandering. He's probably got like some little cove in one of those barns, all like where he like goes into a secret hole and has all like these, like he catches all the stray chickens and stuff, and like, you know, he's fine. Arg!
Pirate Shep. Oh, bless him. How do I house train dogs?
Crate training.
The way I did it with Bear, and he had a few accidents. Con was older than we got him.
Right, but he also had Bear.
Bear showed him. Con has never had
an accident
in the house ever.
And where's Crate?
He's 3, and he never has. But he was 11 weeks old when I got him, and Bear was here. Bear had some accidents
at first,
but he was also only 9 weeks old when I got him.
So essentially, this is honestly how we have Bear. And Jason, you could do the same thing. You're just going to have to stick with it. So, like, if he's out of the crate or she's out of the crate, she's on a leash with you. Okay. When you're not messing with her or doing something with her, she's back in the crate. And she gets regularly let out to go to the bathroom, eat, back in the crate. Nighttime, she's in the crate. She's not sleeping on your bed. She's not telling you what to do. I'm telling you, if you want the best dog, this is the method you have to stick to.
I am really a stickler about
hard
this.
To do it at first because, they're so cute and they're puppies and they just want to snuggle you, right? And that's okay when they're that size. Then I know what that dog is going to turn into, and if she doesn't know her boundaries and doesn't establish this now, like, oh man. But like, the leash thing was huge. Jessica's walking the farm. She had Bear on a leash attached to her. Now she just gets up and he follows her around. Like, but I'm a strong supporter of crate training, and if you guys don't, that's fine. Do it differently. But like, I have fruit. Jessica has fruit of what I'm telling you. Come over and
Jeremiah's extremely proud of Bear.
Come and hang out with Bear, or even Con. He really isn't that bad. I mean, honestly,
me and Con were snuggling.
Con doesn't pull on the leash. Like, he does do some stupid stuff.
I proposed yesterday that we get rid of Con's crate. Con is almost 3. And he still sleeps in a crate at night. Now, he chooses it. Like, he goes and lays in his crate with the door open. Like, he's not forced to. But I was proposing that we get rid of it. And Jeremiah's like, I don't know yet. I don't even know. Con makes some really dumb decisions sometimes. But that's just, I hear Great Danes are that way. Bear is awesome, except for when he feels like he should be with me and he's not. Or when Jeremiah's out of town.
Yeah.
Bear is the worst when Jeremiah is out of town because he genuinely believes that he is now the alpha and he is the boss of everything. And the weight, he just can't handle it. Like, he doesn't listen well to me, which is crazy. But the other thing is he's neurotic. Like, when Jeremiah is out of town, Bear does not sleep except for in the day when I am actively doing something. If I sit down, he starts pacing. He does not sleep in the night. He literally paces the house all night. That's the only time I've ever seen Bear growl or bark at anybody is when Jeremiah's out of town. It's really weird. Like, I don't know. But Jeremiah's not out of town very much, so it's not something I've had to deal with very much. Yeah, that's why Polly, is it Polly or Paul? Paul. That's why I propose we get rid of Con's crate because it's massive. It takes up like half our bedroom. It's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, Bear's just doing his job.
Yeah.
I are looking forward to Jessica's next book, Pirate Shep.
What?
Someone said looking forward to Jessica's next book, Pirate Shep. No, he'll listen to me, but I have to like force it. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. Like right now, if Bear was standing right there and he was doing something I didn't like, I could go and he would stop. Like, that's all it would take. Jeremiah goes out of town and he tests me. And it's so bizarre to me.
Because he honestly feels like he's above you in protection.
Right. He thinks he's responsible for protecting, and so he doesn't want to listen. And it's so bizarre because he always listens. Yeah, no, the lead training thing, or tether training, I think is what some people call it, is tether training. But like Bear spent the first 6 months of his life like on a leash that was tied to my belt loop. He was either in the crate or he was on a leash tied to my belt loop. If we needed to go outside, I went outside with him. Came back in. The only thing that stinks, and I know y'all, Jason and Robin, y'all got your puppies really young, but like Bear still had to wake up and go to the potty in the night. And that was the other thing with Con. We got Con at 11 weeks, and he seriously slept through the night when we got him.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I think, Melly. I think he's just acting like a normal shepherd, and he's a protector. And when the one who makes him feel safe is not here, he feels like it's his job. And man, the problem is that I don't sleep because I'm already not sleeping well because Miah's not here, because I don't sleep well when he's not here. But then Bear acts like literally there are burglars tearing the door down when there's nothing. And he'll end up wanting to go outside. And so he'll just go outside and bark all night. I don't like leaving him outside. So if I bring him in the house, he just stands at the windows and barks. He never does that. And I'm always like, what is going on? She slept through the night last night. That's amazing. Yeah, that fishes and loves. It's so hard. Is it called umbilical training? Is that really what it's called? If not, that's a really cool name. It is hard whenever you try really hard and you can't get through something. I have a question. How tall was the roof of your house? We didn't measure it.
Oh, crap, I forgot.
Were you really going to do it?
Oh, I'm going to do it now that I remember.
You have to measure it to where you said, which was where the icicles were.
I understand.
Okay.
Don't tell me what to do. In front of people? Goodness. At least let's we got to keep at least some semblance of order.
Oh my goodness. What happened to your elbow? Is that where you fell down on the ice?
This is when I slipped out of the truck and it still hasn't fully healed.
I've not grown mushrooms. I'd really like to. The barn's supposed to be here tomorrow. We'll see.
I know. I was supposed to have the measurements. Honestly, I just forgot.
Robin Snyder, I think our berries are it's Ozark something. Do you remember?
Which ones?
Our strawberries from Stark Brothers. It has Ozark in it.
Ozark Beauty, I think.
Ozark Beauty. That might be it. In front of people. He's bad. You know. Don't even support that. Can't you measure with iPhone app? Is that a thing? You can measure things with an iPhone app?
You can, but I've got a infrared laser DeWalt like pointer. I just gotta go find it.
Julie Woods, that's amazing.
How big is the barn?
27-acre farm. I'll definitely pray.
The
barn is big. 40? It's like 30 by 40.
Yeah, it is 30 by 40.
It's like, that's a big barn. It's the kind that's like, so it's like this and it goes down and it's got like the side things and it's open in the middle, but you can like close that off if you want to. And then you have stalls on the sides. Did you like that? Did you understand?
Yeah.
Picking up what I'm putting down.
They said it's supposed to be here tomorrow.
The barn is, I think, 12 foot at the peak. So how many dads? That's 2 dads tall.
I don't know. No, I think it's taller at the peak because the sides are about 10 foot tall on the sides, or 8. So it would have to be based on math. What? Who are you?
I did watch The Roads. Have the baby.
After we're done doing what?
I loved that video so much. I actually watched it again today. The barn's metal. It's a metal barn. Yeah, actually, a friend of mine, because I didn't see that on Facebook, and a friend of mine actually screenshot it and sent it to me, the dad measurement thing. I thought that was hilarious.
What?
Hold on.
I didn't see it.
Let's see. Matthew sent this. What?
My brother wanted to measure the trees in his yard. This is how he did it. That's Photoshop dads.
Mm-hmm. Not funny. He measured it with a picture of himself.
Heartscapes. Okay, so we had 2 kids, 2 boys, Fred and no, not Fred. Dale
and Jeff.
Yeah. And
we ended up losing one of them.
We ended up losing one of them, so we rehomed the other one.
Yeah,
because we were out of town and one got sick, and I called my goat mentor and he was going to come over and check him out. And before he could even get to his truck, my brother called me back and said that he was gone. And we don't really know exactly what happened. It was storming. It was raining, so he could have got out in the rain. I mean,
yeah,
lots of things going to happen. It happens. Sometimes the risk you take going out of town. I don't know that I would have been able to catch it any different than what happened, but I'm just saying that's what happened.
Yeah, the little buckling that we're actually keeping one of our new little bucklings that one
Dave.
He's in the vlog tomorrow. He's really beautiful.
Dave.
What
are our plans for the pork lard? Gonna rub it all over my face. I don't know what we're gonna do with it.
Cook with it and stuff.
You know,
like normal lard things.
Lardy stuff. Lardy day.
We also got the, is it called lardo, which is what you take part of the pork belly to cure it, and you do cured lardo.
Whatever you're gonna ask, it's about.
I think maybe his color is sable. He's really pretty. He's getting lighter like every day. I think probably sable is the correct terminology. I'm wondering how much lighter he's gonna get, because he's almost like gray looking. It's really hard to capture on camera well. I don't know, Nini, if we're gonna get that weather.
That's what
it was. The storms, is that what south. It's moving south? Okay. Yeah, we had really, really, really bad storms last night. Very high winds. There, as far as I know, there weren't any tornadoes in the area, but I haven't been on social media like hardly at all today, so I haven't seen anything. But
what?
How do you deal with ticks and fleas? Having the birds helps some. I've never had to like treat our yard with anything because we've never had them super bad, but I do keep Seresto collars on my dogs. I know that's not the most natural thing, but they're both very allergic, specifically Con. I have to keep him in something, and we've tried the natural stuff and it hasn't worked super well, and he ends up with these massive boils and stuff on his skin. So,
hey, sir, Benjamin, give it back to him.
Lordy day. Have you ever grown elderberries? You know, so our friends at Trip H Farms gave us cuttings last year, and then we started remodeling our kitchen, and it was just, I ended up not getting them in time, and I ended up giving most of them away to somebody who could save them and plant them. But no, so I haven't. We have them that grow wild here, but I've not like intentionally cultivated them. I've not raised sheep. I would like to have sheep, but we don't have enough pasture here for sheep.
Definitely.
My plan is when we move to a larger property, I don't really know. I would like to have a dairy cow or a couple of dairy cows. I'll probably have to cut down my goat herd. I think that what we may end up doing is cutting down our goats to like the Nubians we've had forever and the La Manchas, just because we prefer their milk. I don't know. We're going to give it this year and see, and do like side-by-side taste testing once our Nubian's kid and see how we feel about it. But if it really is that big of a difference, the way it has been in years past, I think we're going to stick with the La Manchas, because there's no point in keeping a lot of a breed of goat if you don't like what they produce. What is your goal of land on your next place? So I'll tell you, we have not shared our 5-year vision. We haven't shared that plan because it's not just something that we felt super settled on sharing, but I can tell you a little bit. So like we have told people that we really want to do, like we call it the Refuge when we talk amongst ourselves, but we want to do like a learning center, essentially like a regenerative farm that has a place that people can come for longer term internships, as well as like workshops and weekends and conferences and stuff like that we could do, like a convention type thing. Like in part of that, there's going to be farming and gardens and a farm to table restaurant. I probably will do some sort of venue where we can host weddings to just diversify the income. But that's like our big dream. So for that, I would like to have at least 75 to 100 acres. Obviously, we're not at the point of buying that yet, but because we know that's in our future, I just really feel like I have that vision in my heart. I feel like it's from God, and therefore I feel pretty confident in it. It's been there for a long time, and it's way more possible now than it was ever before. And so for our personal property, I think we could do with less land, but I would like to have at least enough. Can you please go father them? I would like to have at least enough to, be more sustainable in basically what we're doing now. Sorry, I was trying to make sure I didn't lose a train of thought when my children are acting like, locos. Goats can live a good long while. I mean, I've heard of like 15-year-old goats before, but I think that's the high end. I think that like 10 to 12, 13 years is probably more average, but I might be wrong. It is so bedtime. We're actually on here late. So yeah, that's kind of like my big long-term dream. That's Intra Albany Mountain Homestead. When Con was 10 months old, our Great Dane, he got really sick, and we took him to the vet, and it was this ongoing thing. And it turned out he had like a tick-borne illness, and we thought we were going to lose him. Like, he was completely lethargic. We couldn't get him to eat. And it was from a tick, and we ended up medicating him. It was just this really ongoing thing. And since then, Con has been insanely reactive to ticks. And so that's why I use the Seresto collars, because they work, and because I just don't, we're pretty non-toxic in most everything. But I just don't want to risk it with him because he did almost die. Favorite duck breed? I don't really have a preference. We have Cayugas and Pekins. We've had runners. I really liked the runners. I'd probably be cool with getting some more of those. What age do you weather goats? Pretty young, before they're a few months old.
Yeah.
We have had quail. We actually gave our quail to Homestead Dreaming because at the time we had so many chickens that was just another thing to take care of. I never did find my Christmas ornaments, no, but so many of you sent me beautiful ornaments, and that's really precious. I'm hoping they might still turn up, but all right, you ready to wrap this up?
Yeah.
What is the longest Sunday Night Live?
2 hours.
Probably 2 hours, yeah.
Maybe we were really on one then.
I don't know much about biochar, Michaela. I've never done anything with that. Non-toxic cleaning supplies. I mean, a lot of what I use is like vinegar and baking soda, and then the doTERRA cleaner, the On Guard cleaner. I use that for pretty much everything. Wow, 5 kids. I've heard of up to 7 before. Typically, that's smaller breeds that do that, like the Nigerian dwarfs that will have a lot. And 4 is like not crazy uncommon for Nigerian dwarfs. Now, for the breeds of goats, I have triplets is usually the most you're going to get. They have heard of them having more, but it's very unusual for big goats doing that. Someone said Emma Gardner did a good biochar video. I'm not sure with the moringa. That's something that I've heard. That was one of the things that I thought probably wasn't going to make it through the frost. That most things did, but we'll just see what kind of pops back. Anyway.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Thank you, Carla. Great job on the book. It's amazing. So for those of you who are just getting here, don't forget my book is available on Tuesday everywhere. So you can order it now, and they're actually shipping the ones that are ordered now to be delivered by Tuesday. So what's wrong with Jeremiah's elbow? He fell down on the ice. All right. Thank you guys so much. We bless you. Till next time.
Bye.